Shalom and welcome to my channel. I am Sakal. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today I'm going to share the study that I did on, is it important to know who the children of Israel are? Okay, so before I get started, I just want you to know that I am not a teacher. I am a student. I love to study scripture and share my findings with you and with others. I get asked questions all the time by friends and family, and I have my own questions, and I want to know the truth. The truth really does set you free. So let's get started. Okay, so is it important to know who the children of Israel are? So let's go to Deuteronomy 26:18. And Yahuwah hath avouched thee this day to be a peculiar people, as he hath promised thee, and that thou should keep all his commandments, and to make thee high above all the nations, which he hath made in praise and in name and in honor, and that thou may be an set apart people unto Yahuwah thy Elohim, as he has spoken. Genesis 17:8. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their Elohim. And Elohim said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. This is my covenant, which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man-child among you shall be circumcised. Genesis 17:19. And Elohim said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. Exodus 12:37. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Sukkot, about 600,000 on foot, that were men beside children. And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle. Verse 38. And a mixed multitude went up without them. Right? No. It says, and a mixed multitude went up with them, with Israel, not without. Notice that, okay? They had to be with Israel. Them leaving on their own wouldn't have done it. Would have been nothing. They had to be with Israel. Let's go to Ezekiel 37:21. And say unto them, Thus says Yahuwah Elohim, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, where they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land. 22. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions, but I will save them out of their dwelling places wherein they have sinned, and I will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their Elohim. And David, my servant, shall be king over them, and they all shall have one shepherd. They shall also walk in my judgments, and observe my statutes, and do them. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt. And they shall dwell therein, even they and their children and their children's children forever. And my servant David, shall be their prince forever. Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them. And I will place them and multiply them, and will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore. My tabernacle also shall be with them. Yea, I will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. And the heathen shall know that I, Yahuwah, do sanctify Israel. when my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forevermore. Ezekiel 47:21. So shall ye divide this land unto you according to the tribes of Israel. And it shall come to pass that ye shall divide it by lot for an inheritance unto you, and to the strangers that sojourn among you, which shall begat children among you, and they shall be unto you as born in the country among the children of Israel. They shall have inheritance with you among the tribes of Israel. So if you're not among the tribes of Israel, will you have that inheritance? 23. And it shall come to pass that in what tribe the stranger sojourns, there shall ye give him his inheritance, says Yahuwah Elohim. If you are among Israel before this time, you will be with Israel at that time. If you are not among the children before this time, you won't be after at that time. In other words, stop trying to wait until the last minute. If that's you, don't try to wait until the last minute. If you're going to stand with Israel, stand with Israel now. Matthew 15:24, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. 2 Chronicles 20:16, tomorrow go ye down against them. Behold, they come up by the cliff of Ziz, and ye shall find them at the end of the brook before the wilderness of Jeriel. Ye shall not need to fight in this battle. Set yourselves, stand ye still, and see the salvation of Yahuwah with you, O Yehuda and Jerusalem. Fear not, nor be dismayed. Tomorrow go out against them, for Yahuwah will be with you. And Jehoshaphat bowed his head with his face to the ground, and all of Yehuda and the inhabitants of Jerusalem fell before Yahuwah, worshiping Yahuwah. Psalms 14:7. Oh, that salvation of Israel were come out of Zion. When Yahuwah brings back the captivity of his people, Jacob shall rejoice and Israel shall be glad. Isaiah 45:17. But Israel shall be saved in Yahuwah with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. Did you hear that? But Israel shall be saved in Yahuwah with an everlasting salvation. Ye, talking about Israel, shall not be ashamed nor a confounded world without end. He calls Israel world. Okay. But the whole world shall be saved in Yahuwah, right? No. But Israel shall be saved in Yahuwah. Israel. And of course, those who are attached with Israel. Let's not forget. Isaiah 46:13. I bring near my righteousness, it shall be far off, and my salvation shall not tarry, and I will place salvation in Zion for Israel, my glory. Let's go to Isaiah 49:5. And now saith Yahuwah that formed me from the womb to be his servant, to bring Jacob again to him. Though Israel be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of Yahuwah, and my Elohim shall be my strength. And he said, it is a light thing that thou should be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, for a light to the nations, that thou may be my salvation to the end of the earth. Thus says Yahuwah, the Redeemer of Israel, and his set apart one, to him whom man despise, to him who the nations abhorreth, to a servant of rulers. Kings shall see and arise. Princes shall also worship, because Yahuwah that is faithful, and the set apart one of Israel, and he shall choose thee. Let's go to Isaiah 51:8. For the moth shall eat them up like a garment, and the worm shall eat them like wool. But my righteousness shall be forever, and my salvation from generation to generation. Isaiah 62:11. Behold, Yahuwah hath proclaimed unto the end of the world, say ye to the daughter of Zion, behold, thy salvation comes. Behold, his reward is with him and his work before him. Jeremiah or Jeremiah 3:23. Truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains. Truly in Yahuwah our Elohim is the salvation of Israel. Luke 1:77. I give knowledge of salvation unto his people by the remission of their sins. Salvation unto his people. John 4:22. Ye worship, ye know not what. So in other words, you don't know what you worship. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Yehudim. In other words, salvation is with and among and from the Yehudim. Isaiah 14:1. For Yahuwah will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Israel, to the house of Jacob. Did you hear that? They shall cleave to the house of Israel. The word joined in Hebrew is the word H3867, lava, which means a primitive root properly to twine, by application to unite, to remain, also to borrow as a form of obligation, or causatively to lend, abide with, borrower, cleave, join, self, lender. The word cleave in Hebrew is H5596, which is safa, which means to join, attach to, join together. Isaiah 56:1. Thus says Yahuwah, keep ye judgment and do justice, for my salvation is near to come, and my righteousness to be revealed. Blessed is the man that does this, and the Son of Man that lays hold on it, who keep the Sabbath from polluting it, and keep his hand from doing any evil. Neither let the son of a stranger that hath joined himself to Yahuwah speak, saying, Yahuwah hath utterly separated me from his people. Neither let the eunuch say, behold, I am a dry tree. For thus says Yahuwah, unto the eunuchs that keep my Sabbaths and choose the things that please me, and take hold of my covenant, even unto them I will give in mine house and within my walls a place and a name better than of sons and daughters. I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off. Also, the sons of the stranger that join themselves to Yahuwah to serve him, and to love the name of Yahuwah, to be his servants, everyone that keeps the Sabbath from polluting it, and takes hold of my covenant, even them will I bring to my set-apart mountain, and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted upon my altar. For my house shall be called the house of prayer for all people. Yahuwah Elohim, which gathereth the outcasts of Israel, says, yet will I gather others to him beside those that are gathered unto him. So, isn't that great news? Some of you might think, oh, well, see, it says to join themselves to Yahuwah. Well, to join to Yahuwah, you have to, you can't do it without his people, basically, is what I'm saying. You can't do it. It's sort of like, an example of that would be someone calling you, hey mom, hey dad, but ignoring and pretending like your natural children are not your children, and expecting to come in your house and live like the family without your actual children. That's not going to work. Okay, so Yah will gather his people and others to join to his people, coming into covenant with him.